Beautiful. Let's do it.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, so you guys can see my screen now? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk about how to create inclusive social skills settings, really in any environment. It can be used, and let's say if you're helping some older individuals in like a work setting, it could be used in any hobbies, sports teams, really almost anything, I think. It will need to be adapted, of course, but you'll see. Okay, so we have a rule when in Girl Scouts, when someone says, "Hey ladies," everyone responds with, "Hey what?" And you got to put a little sass on it. And it's a little bit naughty, I think, because that's why the girls like it, because most of the time you don't get to say "Hey what" to a grown up. So during the meeting, if we get a little off topic or whatever, and I say, "Hey ladies," everyone says, "Hey what?" and we stop talking and I can continue on.
I love it.
I also have some jobs for you all. So Barbara, I'm going to make you my comment moderator, making sure that either I or anyone else doesn't get too off topic. You can say, "Okay, all right, we need to continue on because my presentation is only 15 minutes. So Patty, your attendance taker, so you're just making sure everyone's here. Christina, you're going to be our tech helper. So if someone's technology fails, you're going to bring whatever knowledge you have to help us. And Jeannie, you're going to be our timekeeper. So you're going to let me know when my 15 minutes is coming up.
Give you a 5-minute, right?
Yes. Okay. So our goals for this presentation, we're going to provide concrete antecedents to do before. And then we're also going to provide examples of ways to be more inclusive without singling anybody out. Like if you're showing up to a group for the first time, you don't know who has a disability, who doesn't. You really don't know the best ways to help them yet. For the antecedents, most of these are better if you're not worried about like singling the person out. But you can just talk in generalities as well. Before I brought my daughter to our new Girl Scout troop, I did quite a few of these. The first thing I did was I brought our library that I have at home of books about autism, and I allowed the parents to check them out. And I bring them every week, and sometimes parents trade them out and they bring back new ones because I have a bunch. I probably have 20 or more of them. Some of them I like better than others. I don't agree with everything every book says. Some of them say things like "my autism superpowers." Why I don't always think autism is a detriment. I don't always think it's a superpower either. So, there's a balance there, and I think seeing the positives is awesome. But I think mentioning some of the struggles is also okay. These are some of my favorites. I will say the survival guide for kids on the spectrum and their parents. It's a good book. It has a lot of good advice in it. I've read it. There's a couple of points I don't like. One of the things it says in there is that vaccines might cause autism. I don't believe that. And I wouldn't want my kid reading a book that says, "Oh, mom gave me vaccines, mom gave me autism." I probably did give them autism, but not like that. So, use your discretion. I just bring them, and if any parents want to discuss things with me, the information is there. The other thing you can do is provide a sensory break area or a sensory seeking area. My daughter is less of a break near and more of a sensory seeker. She really loves the jumping, the throwing herself on the floor or rolling around on the floor. So having a little area that she can escape to is just really helpful. I know there's nowhere she can go. She goes over there, she does her jumping jacks, she, does her thing. Sometimes she comes out after a minute, sometimes she's there for longer. We're trying to decrease that by making the activities more friendly for her. And so she has been spending more time with the group, which is great. And I think it's because I'm implementing some of these strategies. Okay, so every time I present a craft or an activity, I make a sheet with pictures, with clear instructions, and I also demonstrate and verbally speak while we're doing the craft. I try my hardest, unless I get distracted, which happens, to provide concrete examples of me up there demonstrating, like I'm making one along with them, as well as if some girls are finished early, they can skip ahead. They have the instructions, it's right here. And I have found it's been really beneficial, not only for Erin, but for the rest of the girls as well, because a lot of them cannot read yet because they're younger. All of these girls are between 5 and 7. So I make visuals as succinct as possible. These are not my pictures, but oftentimes when I'm making craft, I'll have to make one at home beforehand and take my own pictures. And then I put it together and I try to put it all on one sheet like this. I usually don't make one for every girl because not every girl needs it. Some girls respond better by my talking, by my visual examples. So, there's usually 8 girls at every table. I'll usually put 4 on each table. And they'll either share or, like I said, not everybody needs it. So, so group expectations. This is kind of like the call to attention of like, hey, ladies.
Hey, what?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Say what?
So, sometimes by the end of the meeting, my voice is gone. So I can no longer do, hey, ladies. So, we have the Girl Scout sign. We just raise our hand. Once you see this, you have to stop and put up your Girl Scout sign and mouths are closed. So usually within 30 seconds or so, it's quiet and everybody's looking at the one who, started calling attention. Some other examples I've seen other leaders do. One of the moms, she walks in, she's got older girls. She goes, and then whoever hears it has to say, "All hail the queen." And they pretty much have to repeat that till all the girls are listening. And her girls are older, they're juniors and in middle school. And they hate it because they have to call her the queen. And but it's just something fun and silly. And this is a leisure activity, right? This is a hobby. This isn't something that's supposed to be super serious. So it's a little less formal than like a school setting. Caper charts. I try to provide a chore that each kid can do. Most of the girls in my troop are very able-bodied, but I do have one in a wheelchair and she's very limited on what she can do. But on nights when she brings her electric wheelchair, she is a really great sweeper. She loves being able to zoom her wheelchair back and forth and push the big push broom. And all the girls were like, I didn't know she could do that. That's so cool. And it's just something at the end of the night that shows them that hey, these girls aren't all that different than you know, and I think it's really bringing us together as a troop. I mean, we haven't been together very long, a couple of months, and it's really coming together, and I'm really proud of them. But I still get nights where they'll come up to me and they'll be like, Erin said my name, or Erin said her favorite color was blue. And I was like, yes, she can talk. It's not a secret. I know. So like they're actually, seeking out interactions with her, and and like if she's gone into her little hideaway a little too long, a lot of times, I don't even have to say anything anymore. One of the other girls will go and look for her, and she's all too happy to go with another girl rather than mom trying to shoo her out. Another thing that I try to provide at every meeting, and it's open to anyone who needs it, as well as the sensory break area. I don't say this area is for Erin. I say, hey, you know what? If you're feeling a little sad, if it's a little loud in here, you need to go take a break, feel free to do so. I try not to put time limits on it, but I will say that I try to say, hey, you don't want to miss anything because we want to make sure everyone gets their badges. And that usually keeps anyone from disappearing very long. And it's not like a cool sensory area. It's just a staircase. It's just a little place where there's nowhere for them to go. But it's a little less echoey and a little less, and Erin can go and do her thing in STEM. And but like I said, she's spending a whole lot less time there now, and I think some of these things are helping. So sensory bags, I want to make some of these for our project and scouts to keep at camp. So depending on your environment, like if it's a sports environment, an inside environment, whatever you're looking at, the sensory bags could be made up of different things. So sunglasses, fidgets. I actually attended a training recently where they provided fidgets for all the adults. It was nothing but adults. And I thought this was amazing because I clued in a lot better. And I was like, this is so simple. And you can get the quiet ones so that, you don't want to hear a bunch of popping necessarily while you're trying to speak. But it was just a nice thing that kept me moving, and then I wasn't distracting the whole table. Because I oftentimes, I will tap my foot, or I'm wiggling in my seat constantly. I'm worse than a kid. So I was like, I'm going to do this from now on. Weighted blankets. My kids have actually got these for Christmas, and their elopement has decreased significantly. It's not gone away completely when we're doing our school time, but it's so much better. And then something you may want to keep in the bag is some PECs. If someone's really upset, they're really overwhelmed, they might not be able to tell you, hey, I'm really sad. Hey, I'm really mad. Hey, I really need a snack right now, or can I just have a minute alone, or some water? Again, depending on your setting is going to be what you're going to include in your PECs. You don't need 300 of them. You just need a few to help them communicate in the setting that you're in.
Lindsay, could you elaborate a little bit more on PECs? Because I know you said something else, but yeah.
Okay, so PECs, it stands for picture exchange communication, I think it is. And basically what you would do is you would have this little board. All the pictures on the board would be held on with Velcro, and then they have an I want statement. So they say, I want trampoline. And it's kind of like a precursor to having a device. A lot of times, like the speech therapist will go and see if the kids can form sentences and communicate wants and needs with some simple PECs before they go into the expense of trying to contact insurance and going through that process of getting a like a AAC device for speaking. But yeah, like all of my kids use PECs for a while for different things. My son, he's loud and doesn't really need them, but Erin, she does have a device now, but I would still just pull these out every once in a while. She's just really frustrated. She's stimming really hard. I'm not sure what's going on. Stimming is not always a bad thing. Sometimes she's really excited.
So basically, it just helps bring them back in line.
It's going to help them communicate with you what's wrong, because
Okay.
you currently don't, like, if they have separated themselves from the group, they're, you know, you may not know, they could be furious, they could be sad, they could just be really frustrated. You got off schedule, and that's rocking their world. So they need to be able to communicate that with you, that, hey, we were supposed to have lunch 30 minutes ago, and
Right.
I need a snack now.
Okay.
The big thing is whatever is on this PECS board, if it's not available, it does not need to be on that PECS board. So you need to glance through it before you present it to them. Because if you say, oh, trampoline is available,
Right.
and then they say, oh, they've calmed down, they communicate to you, I want trampoline, and you're like, oh, sorry, trampoline's closed, then they're just going to re-escalate.
Okay.
The last thing is praise honest interactions and acts of friendship. I always said, and I communicated this with the parents before I brought Erin, I don't need my daughter to be the troop mascot. You know what I'm saying? I don't need anybody to like take her under their wing or anything like that. But she's still a kid. She really loves to play. She really, loves to chase and run and do all the things that kids do. And like I said, the kids are learning that. Some of them, Erin is too much for them. She's a big hugger. She likes to squeeze people. The girls with older brothers who have grown up with this all their life, they love her. They're used to it. They're used to the rough and tumble, and they will start chase with her and no problem. Some of the girls who either don't have siblings or only have younger siblings are like, she's a little much, which is fair. Like I said, I don't need anyone to come by and just be like, oh, let me make Erin my best friend because this is going to make Miss Lindsay happy. That's, we're here to have Girl Scouts and we're here to have fun. But just know that, Erin likes friends too. And sometimes the other parents will go over to the corner, like she's been over there for a little bit. And I'm trying to lead the meeting because I was supposed to be her one-on-one, but now I'm the troop leader somehow. So, and sometimes another parent will go over there and you can tell that they're a little like lost on like, what do I say / do? Because if you're not used to those types of interactions, it can be very intimidating. But I always praise like honest efforts. Sometimes it works and Erin will come out with them and like, oh, okay, I'm going to go back and sit down now. So-and-so wants me. I feel better. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay too. Like, I really do think the step-by-step instructions and everything are really helping her though. Like having everything on one sheet, like, because Erin does not like to wait. So if I'm trying to help somebody figure out a special knot and I'm trying to teach somebody how to tie it, I might have already tied Erin's. She's ready to go to the next step. She's not waiting around. So now that she has instructions, she can continue making her craft, and if she finishes early, she always has like a coloring sheet, or she could just make hers extra sparkly or colorful or whatever. The last thing is my conclusion is these are all things that fit really well into ABA. You can generalize these things into any situation. You can generalize this stuff if you're helping someone into a work setting. Obviously, if they're not doing a better job, if they're still not getting it, it's not effective. So we need to change what we're doing. So if Aaron started spending more time in the closet or more time in the stairwell instead of less, then I would be like, okay, something I'm doing is still, not helping. So I need to rethink and try something else. Technological, all these steps are easily reproducible. The knowledge of this is easy to transfer to others, which is what I'm trying to do now. For it to be applied, it's socially significant. Everybody has hobbies. Everybody has things that they want to do that are outside of their house. At least I hope they would. And even if, like my son, he could play at home. Like this snow, not affected him at all. No. But my daughter is going stir crazy. She is ready to be out of this house. So, while my son could stay home and play trains, sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone. Do something a little, different. And so I think that's what makes it socially significant, because everyone needs peers, everyone needs hobbies, and you want to help your clients and their families find things that work for them, whether it be Girl Scouts or whether it be the soccer team or whether it be a social skills group, whatever it is. I would think that a BCBA's job is to help them find things that are socially significant to them. Important, church might be important to a lot of families, and so that's where you're going to take your ABA. Conceptually systematic, this also includes a lot of pillars of ABA. There's social reinforcement. There's always reinforcement at Girl Scout meetings, yeah, I also use a lot of like token boards, you use a lot of visuals. All of that is, pillars of ABA. Analytic data can be taken. The amount of time that Aaron spends with the group instead of hiding from the group is decreasing all the time. Now we've skipped a couple of weeks because of the weather and everything. So it'll go kind of back up and then it'll go back down again. But that's okay. And it also goes up and down based on how fun is this task that we're doing to Aaron, which is also okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of these things are observable and measurable. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys about today.
Awesome. That was fantastic. We have 3 minutes for Q&A. Anybody have a quick question for Lindsay?
Lindsay, I love this makes me think from a different perspective. I try to think as a parent all the time, but as a parent that has a child that has autism, like I said, my daughter was in Girl Scouts, but what if as a teacher, but now my child is, this is awesome because not only does it, it help make it easier for Aaron, or anyone else that's like that, but they're learning so that they can be more sensitive, not only here, but also back at school. So now they may not be so quick to want to make the smart comments that they make. Like, oh, well, my Girl Scout sister, she also deals with this. Yes, I would like to sign up for PALS because I would like to work with that group. This is amazing. I love it. I love it.
A lot of the girls in our troop are homeschooled. So a lot of them don't get exposure to this kind of thing.
Even better.
Without us. And I think it's really important because again, even a lot of adults are very intimidated by individuals with special needs. So just making it less intimidating is really what it's all about. So and now like all the girls, they always come in, give Erin a high five.
Yeah, love
And
that.
you know, so I do too. And you know, she'll be coloring sometimes and they'll come over and they're like, oh, what are you coloring? Oh, I love Gabby's dollhouse too. She watches Gabby's dollhouse. I'm like, ask her, not me.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so but
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Great job.
All right. Very nice. So